Buenas noches a todos. Welcome back to Tom Plays EU4 for absolute beginners. We are back with Spain. And yeah, mostly doing okay. Just taking a bit of a risk with building manufactories instead of just saving up to embrace global trade. Oh, brilliant. Looks like we have successfully called the provinces we took from the Netherlands. So, I'm sorry to say, the Netherlands is currently no more. Don't know how much longer that'll be the case for, because they do seem to live a bit of a charmed life, but we'll see. Colonies, that's Cuba, I'm going to leave that be. Mildly amused to see that it looks like Portugal has picked a fight with someone. Thankfully for once not dragged us into it, and are now getting their butts kicked. Which is good, because I don't want us to take any of this land, because we need it. Part of our missions. So yeah, we're the main problem at the moment is that we're far too low on units, military units. Our army's not really big enough here to cope with the uprisings. Our army's just barely big enough here maybe to cope with uprisings, but it's not going to be able to cope with a whole bunch of them at once, which is what we're going to get as soon as they start again. So I'm really just hoping that they have time to recover. Okay, colonial company goes bankrupt, we will definitely step in. It's only 50 ducats. It's absolutely fine. I'm going to make another manufactory. So, thinking about it, let's do this one anyway, because it's going to make us a ton of cash. Apparently we actually have enough for another one, which is interesting. Is it worth doing one down here? Or even here? I guess this could be a good place though. Obviously it's going to spill over to the surrounding African nations, but I'm not too worried about them getting manufactories anytime amazingly soon. I suppose here might be a good place as well. Could do with a few more areas in Spain itself as well, maybe Burgos, Sevilla. It faces the ocean, so Portugal might get it, but the end of the world. What's going on with these? Oh, I think they're full. These are like full of buildings, so we can't make them here. Might be able to make one there though, which might be a good place because yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm just really hoping this recovers quickly. Seriously considering hiring some mercenaries. Good grief again. Right, we don't have a general. Let's give them the conquistador and just send them over. And just hope that they get there before they manage to take the fort. No, they've taken the fort, which may mean that we get defeated. Apparently it actually hasn't meant that we got defeated. Unless we just run out of numbers again. But really could have done without it. So they're just going to have to siege the castle now, however long it takes. But yeah, we're seriously running into problems here. Sailors rally to army. Oh yes, please. Austria wants purge of Bohemian heresy against Bohemia. Allied with Sweden, Augsburg and Würzburg. Okay, how big is Sweden? Sweden is quite a size. Bohemia's quite a size. I'm inclined to say no, to be honest. Go away. Considering the last time we met up we were fighting. So I'm guessing I've lost them as an ally. I have. Unfortunately lost some prestige and diplomatic reputation. But yeah, I'm that badly damaged in terms of manpower. I'm really not keen to be dragged into a war, especially not one that's against a couple of very powerful enemies. Fair enough. I just improve with England instead. Okay, we've fulfilled a mission. Oh! I don't know if we made 20. Oh, maybe we have. And we've also fulfilled Imperial Conquest. So, excellent. Okay, happy days. Plus this is actually starting to look vaguely acceptable. What is this? 1639. So still quite a way before we can do that one. But yeah, it actually feels like it's recovering finally. Nice. Gold. I'm guessing that's not one of our own provinces. It's probably one that's going to belong to a colonial nation. But yeah, I mean it looks like these are almost reaching the point where we might not need to raise levies. 56, so they've still got plenty of room to grow. Which is just as well, because they're really going to need to. Here we go, it's started. So this one's actually a scripted rebellion that we had a non-scripted rebellion that we had a warning about. Let's embrace this. We've now embraced, I think, global trade, which should give us the merchant. It has, excellent. We've also finished Rosario, so let's keep moving around. So the objective here, basically, I'm trying to make a big circle around a bunch of colonies to stop anyone else from colonising them. Especially Portugal. So I'm probably going to head down next and start moving across here. So the idea is I won't colonise any of these, but hopefully Spanish La Plata will colonise them themselves. But they can do it at their leisure, because no one else will be able to colonise them, is the idea. So yeah, brilliant. Okay, so things are looking up a little. We now have another merchant. We've finally embraced global trade. And we had enough manufacturers, as it turned out, so we can stop worrying about that. Probably start worrying about universities soon. Although we probably won't build as many of them because they're only advantageous to the Enlightenment. Plus, the Enlightenment isn't as close. Manufacturers is literally about to fire. So at least we've got a bit of a breather before the Enlightenment. So let's just go to the trade map and pull up the trade thing. So their recommendation is actually Timbuktu as the next trade node, which of course we have quite a lot of trade power in, but yeah, I don't have an issue with that. So we're going to transfer trade power, I think, to Safi, which then gets transferred to Sevilla. So cool, hopefully that will provide us with even more money. And we'll start seriously pulling ahead of the other nations. So our big problem at the moment is our lack of technology, especially as compared to France. Especially military, but in general. So we're military 17, they're military 19. So the best way to combat that would be to improve our advisors. So if we look at our money, we now have, I think, enough money to get +2 advisors instead of +1. So let's look at this one, because these both have pretty good skills. Okay, there are no good advisors. Well, I mean, he's a good advisor, but he's still only +1. But it's a better skill, at least. Less keen to replace any of them, so I might leave him to it for a bit, but hopefully we'll start choosing some +2 advisors, and maybe even look at the odd +3. Possibly not +3, they'll probably be too expensive still. So let's improve with France, let's improve with the Papal State again, let's improve with Naples, because we haven't done that for far too long. We really need to just improve with all of our vassals again. Might possibly do the rounds with the... Oh, need a diplomat first. Just thinking might do the rounds with the subsidies again, although it looks like we're still subsidising, so maybe not. But we've finished improving relations with the Papal State. And with France, okay. Tunis is getting quite big, let's improve relations with them. You never know. And with Fulo, just in case. Okay. Nope. Okay, what does Prussia want? I better pause. Mossy wants... That's fine. Okay, so Prussia wants help against Lübeck, Bremen and Hamburg. I'm fairly sure that none of them are particularly big. So I think I can accept that. And in all probability, I won't even need to worry about it. I think it's quite likely that I can leave that to Poland. So even if I don't end up being a desperately good help, at least my vassals will be able to help. Of course, if someone actually comes over here, I'll probably have to attack them. Just to be conscious about the next round of Dutch revolutions. And there it is. Looks like Poland are taking them down anyway, so that's good. Definitely the best junior partner. Sorry Naples, you're also extremely good. And I see you heading off to help Prussia, so it's all good. Right, okay, so they're done with. We've got Songhai separatists, of which there will be 12,000. Okay, so we need to unmothball the castle, which isn't a problem. But we haven't managed to take it back yet, so I think it's time to... Oh, brilliant. At least start building universities now if we want to. Oh, great. Can make more states. That is good. Should reduce our corruption. So that's because we've improved in administrative technology. We don't need to make a state there though. Okay, brilliant. We can also now build universities, but yeah, mercenaries. So we've currently got quite a decent quite a decent amount of money every month, so I think we can justify bringing mercenaries down. So it's for two reasons. For one, I really want to get that siege finished, ideally before they rise up, and two, when they do rise up I need to have enough troops to deal with them. So we may be keeping these mercenaries on until our manpower's improved. should that ever actually happen. Oh, brilliant. Okay. See, I think more advanced players use mercenaries quite often. I tend to avoid them myself most of the time. But that's because I usually end up struggling for money, so might change my mind. Maybe I shall learn to love mercenaries this time, since we're probably going to need them for a bit, at least down here. That's a bit more like it. And yeah, we've got the general up here, so that's good. Can't see any sign of Prussia having issues. That's also good. In fact, they're winning by 81%. There we go. So hopefully they should like us quite a bit now. On an alliance, fought to the end. It's not worth a huge amount, but it all adds up, I suppose. Oop. Okay, so what have we got? Colonists have moved from, I think, one colony to another, so that's fine. New Granada. Can't remember if I've taxed them or not, so I might actually tax them. And we've won that siege, which is brilliant. So I might move across to Timbuktu simply because I'd rather let the uprising happen. Oh, actually it could happen in either place. Tell you what, let's go here and let it happen in Gao instead. Because then when we fight them we'll have the fort. Another colony. So we have created Spanish Canada. So there you go. If you've ever wondered what the Spanish equivalent of Canada is, it's Spanish Canada. Apparently. Brilliant. Okay, well, that's good. So I'm going to instantly start giving you subsidies. I want you to grow as fast as possible. It'd be great if you could colonise this island for me. I'm thinking I should keep heading along the mainland because I don't want the Scots to cut us off. Nova Scotia. I want to carry on going. Although they've already cut us off a little bit up there. They're actually growing quite big, Nova Scotia. It's going to be interesting. Even if England ever manages to conquer Scotland, they might be a force in their own right. Although I have to say, England... compared to what I'm used to seeing England do, they're doing a pretty poor showing. Kildare and Scotland seem to be holding them at bay indefinitely. Okay, what do we have? We have some good +3s, well, a decent +3, and some not very good +1s, but I'll take the reduction in national unrest quite happily. Flemish separatists, Songhai separatists, Luxembourgian separatists, right, that's going to be a problem unless we can get access through Liege, which we can at the moment, so that's good, but let's improve relations with them just to make sure that we'll be able to when the time comes. I now have no reason not to build manufactories, but every reason to mothball my forts. Even Utrecht now, I think, except for this one, Gao. I need to unmothball, but just for the hell of it, I might unmothball that one and Utrecht as well, because actually we don't call them Utrecht, do we? Utrecht, I think, or Utrecht. Sorry, not sure how to pronounce that in Spanish. Right, let's improve relations with Genoa again, because they're reasonably big and we do have to share a set of islands with them. Okay. Nope. Brilliant. Okay, separatists in Gao. As we predicted, apparently they're colonising North America as well. That is way more separatists than I was expecting. I would absolutely swear that it said 10,000. Okay, obviously it's changed. Not at all sure we can win this. So we're doing quite well, surprisingly well. I'm just worried we're just going to run out of numbers. If you get too low in terms of numbers, you just suddenly start losing in a big way. Yeah. And the army has literally died. Okay, so they want a new tariff. I am very happy to give you a new tariff. I'm also very happy to ask for a contribution. Invest in a new idea. Well, I have to say I would love to, but we're still behind on military tech, so I better not. France must be ahead, I guess. Okay. Alright, so we need to think of a way to sort that out. On the plus side, we are getting manpower again. So we could even start rebuilding our main army. Just how long that will last. Good to see Portugal are still in trouble. And we are not being obliged to help them. I suppose the only thing is what we could do with upgrading the army up here instead. Where are we? Sorry, getting lost here. Access from Prussia, no problem. They are my new best friends. We could do with some more guns, actually. So let's at least build another gun in Utrecht. And at least the Songhai separatists will need to take some other lands apart from our fort. Annoying though it is that they'll be taking our fort. Just trying to get ready for the next round of Dutch rebellion. Okay, may regret building a gun on a site that may get a rebellion. But it's just going to take too long if I don't. Yeah, well that didn't take them long. I really should upgrade my forts. Might build more manufactories first though. Just to put us in good stead for the next increase. Right, we've got a few more guns. And I'm going to have to separate this army actually anyway, aren't we? So let's move some of you into Den Haag. And maybe I can get 13 each. 60 total. Hopefully that's enough to cope with whatever the Dutch throw at us. Right. What was I thinking? Manufactories. So let's just see if there's any good places to put these tactically in terms of spreading. Right, I'm going to put one there, even though it's going to help the other African nations out anyway. I'm going to put one here because it badly needs doing, and I'm going to put one in Burgos as soon as I can. As soon as we have the money again. Oh, good. Portugal declaring war on everyone without asking us to join in. It's absolutely ideal. So I think this is going to be our final African province, at least for a while. So I'm going to need to ship you fellas over to South America. I don't think there are many more to take anyway. I think Portugal are taking them all except this one. So at least we managed a chunk. I mean, we're heavily outnumbered here, but we've still got the option of putting an army here if we end up fighting Portugal. We do still have an alliance with them, don't we? And a royal marriage. Yeah, we do. Just improve relations. I'm just wondering why they're not dragging us into wars anymore. Maybe they're worried we're going to claim the provinces. That's the main reason I wouldn't drag them in. Mossy separatists. Well, that is annoying. Allow me to unmothball this fort. Where are you actually going? Are you actually going to stay in my land, or are you just passing through? Possibly just passing through. See, bet you wish you'd let me vassalise, you know. Might survive slightly longer. And your separatists doing alright, so maybe they'll be fine. Okay, so we've now got 2 armies of 30 each. That's a total of 60. Great, what's with all the separatists? Okay, so let's start rebuilding this army. I'm going to go with half and half to start with. Usually have a few more infantry. Sorry about that, brief power cut there. Yeah, haven't had a Dutch uprising for a while. I don't suppose I could dare to hope that they've finally stopped. Is it because we destroyed the Netherlands? Does that help? Did it not happen while the Netherlands doesn't exist? Because honestly, if I can safely pull my army out of there, that would be amazing. Oh, brilliant. The next Australian colony. Number 4. And no sign of Portugal out here yet. I think that's France though. Yes it is. So it looks like France are going for these islands rather than Australia itself. Might be because of the trade nodes. I think that trade node's quite important. There's one here. Australia has one, but it's kind of, you know, the start of a trade link, so it's not really that useful as they go. I mostly like Australia because they and New Zealand become a single colonial nation, which then acts independently. And I quite like the independently acting nations. I like having the assistance when I need it. I suppose it doesn't make much difference to the computer though. Okay, have you guys stopped getting subsidies yet? Nope, you're still having them. That's good. As long as you're happy. What's happening in France? Oh yeah, they're fighting Austria, aren't they? Excellent. Almost a shame we couldn't join in, but maybe it's just as well. Still, I really hope Austria wins. Going to try to improve relations with the Papal State yet again, in the hope that one day I will not be excommunicated anymore. try and improve with Austria as well. Okay, so they are up to strength. Need these guys to meet up in Timbuktu, and I can actually build more troops, which is good. Assimilation is always good. Looks like we're going to be facing one massive enemy, although it might be worth doing a spy network on this province here. Let's just see. I'm sure I'll get a diplomat back very soon. There we go. That's how big I can get this army. I suspect we are heavily below our force limit now though. More and more representing national institutions. No, that's fine. Give them what they want. If we declare war, no, they actually have Kano as an ally. So it looks like we're not going to have a very easy time, no matter what. However, I do wonder if they've taken out these separatists for us. Might be worth just moving up there. Let's just improve relations with both of these, just in case. I'm sure we're perfectly capable of taking them on, it's just not really keen to fight them right now. I'd rather stick to the easy stuff until we've definitely got our armies free. Seriously looking like we have though. Honestly, I'm beginning to think about pulling our armies out and sending them to South America. Just hopefully Portugal won't have managed to take too much since. I mean, before we can get there. Because they seem to be doing a bit better this time. Although, did they lose some land here? Honestly, not that sure. That isn't good. Really need to get someone over there as soon as we can. The problem is I'd really like to make sure Spanish Canada's properly on the feet first. Okay, what are we looking at? Actually, we do have this province in Africa, don't we? This one purely on its own in the midst of a load of what they classify as wasteland. It's always quite interesting. It's probably going to be more pain than it's worth to look after in some ways. I think I'd rather concentrate on making our existing nations as big as possible. Who's this next uprising going to be? Flemish separatists and Luxembourg, so it's still probably worth having our armies up there just for that. Okay. Oh, are these the separatists? They are. Okay, we're still not strong enough to fight them then. How are we looking compared to our limit? We have plenty of room, but I'm not sure I want to build someone there. Is this their land? It isn't their land. Okay, that's fine then. In which case... Alright, now to manpower again. But steadily improving in technology. So that's something. Lever cannon. And gallop cavalry. It's kind of new. So right, so Kano isn't willing to take these people down either. If nothing else, I can take back some of the land they've claimed. Oh, cool. The fort takes back that land automatically. That should help us a bit. I'm still hoping Kano will waste their troops fighting them, but doesn't seem to be any sign of that just yet. Oh, of course. Just Portuguese colonies. I do forget, of course, that we're one of the few nations with 4 colonists, so we should be kind of winning the colonisation race anyway. Right, had enough of this. If Kano wasn't going to do it, I am. Let's try and take this fort back. It's a bit of a danger that they might attack us while we're taking the fort back. If we can take the fort back before they attack us, we will have an advantage. Okay, a few too many people. There we go. Spend it generously, we need prestige. Oh, I see. Left that up a bit too high. Right. Oh, excellent. Given we're trying to block Portugal off, I'm going to make a colony here so that we can start coming in on the inside of them. Do you guys still have subsidies? You do not. Have some more subsidies. Brilliant. Okay, how about you, Brazil? No. Right, so you have some as well. New Granada. Doing well with the colonisation there. Keep it up. Try and keep up with the French. Cuba shouldn't really need any, they're not doing any colonisation. But I know Florida could do with some. And Spanish Canada already has some, so that's fine. How are we doing for money? We have far too much money, so I'm going to subsidise Cuba as well. And then think about advisors. Okay, so we are currently gaining over 30 ducats a month with our current set of advisors. Okay, well that advisor isn't that good, so we could actually do production efficiency, which is a better option, and is a +3 admin advisor. These are both pretty good. Yeah, I might leave them as they are for now. we don't need to worry about diplomacy too much because we're already ahead on diplomacy, so getting a bit further on administrative would not be a bad thing. Okay. France are on 19 still. Well, that's good. We're actually catching them up a bit. Right, I've got more money, so let's build some more manufactories. I was going to build one there. Burgos. Now let's build one here to really help with those provinces. Austria, that's fine. Probably no point in building one down there, really. No, they're fine. About up here, because this is where we will be making the most money out of these. So in many ways, they'd be a good place to build them. Right, okay, let's build one there. So it'll make us a ton of cash. In fact, I'll probably build a manufactory in all of these places in the end. Also extremely pleased to see that France is doing really badly against Austria. I am so tempted just to join in and start fighting them. What would happen if we attacked Nova Scotia right now? Because France probably wouldn't join in, would they? It is tempting. I mean, it's risky. To be fair, it's probably too risky because we are about to have a bunch of uprisings. And I'm sure... oh, there we go. The war is instantly over. Still, looks like France had a bit of a bad time with it, so hopefully that will bode well for the future once we've got our technology up to scratch. Okay, Reformed Faith. Oh right, brilliant. So we can basically say we're not fussed, we just want the extra colony, which is great. So I will accept that. And Nova Scotia, isn't it? Let me give you a... I'm just thinking it might be better to take this one because we'll be partly ahead of them then, rather than cut off by Quebec. There you go. Welcome to the world where the residents of Quebec speak Scottish. Presumably Scots Gaelic, because the English have never conquered Scotland or had a personal union with them, which is what happened in real life. Technically, yeah, the Papal State can sometimes be surprisingly powerful, to be fair. Really wondering what I need to do to stop being excommunicated. I mean, my king is now Catholic. My country is Catholic. Oh well. Okay, so I think they did actually attack before I could take the fort. But never mind. Really must improve the forts at some point as well. Maybe stop mothballing them. Liege have insulted us. I assume I can't attack them without everyone and their dog joining in. So I'll just insult them back, which I don't want to because I might need to pass through the country soon. But hey, they started it. Morocco finished improving relations with the Papal State. Noble rebels of Spanish La Plata, which it looks like Spanish La Plata dealt with before we could even get there. Or even look at it. Good work, guys. Man, you are getting like a ton of subsidies and loads of help with the colonisation. So I suppose you should do good work, really. Oh yeah, it's pretty standard. Yep. Leading figure of the Sicilian community. Oh, that's good. Less unrest in Sicily is very welcome. And they're now a defender of the Catholic faith. Again, ironically. Portuguese Peru, this is the problem, you see. Portugal has managed to take some lands that we had a claim on. This is not good. Okay, we actually have a new national idea. So we are only ahead in diplomacy. So we should do a diplomatic idea. So we have a few options. Influence ideas is mostly used for vassals. I'm not sure how useful it is for personal unions and colonial nations. I mean, it's probably slightly useful. Maritime ideas is useless. Espionage ideas I'm not very fond of. Trade ideas is great for money, but we're actually doing quite well for money now. So I think diplomatic ideas is the way to go. It'll help us make friends with nations. It'll help us keep our colonies happy in a way. It'll give us an extra diplomatic relation, and it will help us, I think, to take more land when we conquer places. So, no choice really, they are the best option by far. So instantly we have a 4th diplomat. So, I mean, I'm assuming we're doing reasonably well with most of our vassals because we keep giving them subsidies. I know. Not as good as you'd think. Fair enough. So let's start improving the knight's opinion of us. Portugal. Zalisco. Okay, this is something I'm really not going to want to help with, isn't it? Who are Zalisco? That's Charka. Honestly, I have no idea who they are. Oh, there they go. Okay, I don't mind helping against them. At least they're not one of the South American nations. Might as well mothball all the forts again there. Anyway, so yeah. Still not dominating South America like I would want to. Very concerned about Portugal gaining such a foothold on North America. Which almost makes me wonder if I ought to, once we've finished the African province down here, whether I should even send them to North America before South America. Because although we're not doing that well in South America, we are at least dominating it. I mean, we're doing fairly well just with subsidies. So we will at least be the dominant nation in South America, even if it's not as overwhelming as I would like. So if I send the second colonist up here, start in Mexico, and then maybe the Canadian one, once we've got to 10 provinces, can come up here. We still won't have anyone in Louisiana, which is a bit upsetting. Unless Florida's the equivalent of Louisiana. But I think England also has the 13 nations. But at least we'll be getting 4 more traders in total. It'll be good anyway. Good for money. And more importantly, it should give us dominance in North America as well. So once we've got that, and once we've got our technology back up to scratch, we can start looking at which of the colonial nations we want to attack. Which will be interesting. I mean, Portugal has got to be the obvious one, even though we've been friends with them for so long. Simply because, oh, there we go. We're already there. Okay, I guess I'm not finishing just yet. This will be interesting. I'm going to have to send Armada Atlantica across to the Pacific temporarily, because I want to make... Now let's see, how do I want to do this? Honestly, in some ways, I'd rather start off inland. Let's get as close to Portuguese Mexico as possible, and then we can start heading inwards to take land. Lights off from Austria. Yeah, I don't mind. They seem to hate France, which is always a plus. So maybe don't drag me into another war against someone massive, although I might be in a better position to cope with it now. Who is it we're fighting again? Oh, these guys, isn't it? Ooh. Apparently we're occupying them. They want 2,400 ducats to make peace. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I might not be that keen to help Portugal, but that's just crazy. Oh yeah, because of the war. Fair enough. Okay. I was actually not expecting that. I suppose maybe I should have been, but I wasn't. Okay, you head there, and I hope you're not going to lose ships. Right, I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to get down and fight you. Military access through Kano would allow me to do that. So if I give you the Conquistador on the assumption that someone else currently has it. Okay, give me a chance. So we finished another colony, which is brilliant. So we're making our final Australian colony. Well, not final, but should allow us to make an Australian nation. Looks like France is still going for all the islands, which suits me fine. I'm not as keen on the islands. I do like them, I just I find it easier to defend large land masses. Right, this is no good. My ship's going to go right through there and it might be damaged when it does. So what I should probably do is try to make peace. I suppose you'll give me that. any of these provinces, will you? Oh, you give me this one. Excellent. I'm hoping they'll count towards this colony. That is good. Plus, if I'm really lucky, they might turn the tides on. Turn the tables on Portugal now. Okay. How are those ships doing? They're not doing well. So let's land them here instead. And then we'll take them further on from there. Spanish Cape of Good Hope. Okay. Right, well, they're going to have to come back and attack us. I'm going to make some more infantry and also a cannon, just in case. Core of New Province, not without knowing where they are. Oh, they're those two. Yeah, we do need to call them. They're the ones we took militarily. I thought we might end up with uprisings and things, so I definitely need to call them. Okay, guess we're not going to have time to build those infantry people. I'm hoping we should be alright though with the Conquistador. But yeah, let's have some Sicilian separatists as well. Very much doubt I'm going to be able to stop them, but I can at least unmothball this fort before they rise up. And we'll just have to take it from there. Prestige, very welcome. Okay, so on the assumption that we're going to head all the way back up and try and fight them, because we can't move our main armies because we're about to have some Flemish separatists, let me build a bunch of guns. How many do we need? A lot, I reckon. We build a bunch of infantry as well. Okay. So how are these ships doing? Not great, it has to be said. I really need to give them a bit of a chance to recover. Okay, that's probably enough. So if you get on board again. Let's send you off to Mayo. The problem is I now need to get them back as well, so I can take the army across to Sicily. Benin have told the Pope about our cardinal's sins. It's quite amusing. No, we're still behind on military power. I shouldn't do a defensive idea just yet. Okay, so you guys can all go up here, as can all of you, and wait for the boat. Not convinced it's going to get there before we take the fort, but can't be helped. And the reason it can't be helped is because this was about to happen. Okay, Okay, so do we have any more separatists? So we've got Luxembourgian and Frisian. So yeah, basically we do. Okay. Still need to keep them there for a bit, although at least we're heading towards 1650. So I'll feel a lot happier about being able to pull the army out. Kildare, what happened? Sorry guys. I wish I could have done something, but a bit late now. I think. Right, once these guys are clear, we'll cancel military access because I think it counts as a diplomatic relationship, as well as potentially costing money. Nonetheless, thank you, Kano. In fact, oh well. I was thinking I'd send someone to improve relations with them, just to keep us in their good books, but I guess not. Okay, let's send some ships to here. But yes, another cardinal who's doing us no good because we are still excommunicated. So apparently excommunications just last forever. Might be something else for me to look up for next time. Is there anything you can do to stop being excommunicated beyond what I've already done? Okay, so I'm going to move them up here. I'm hoping they can do that without losing any ships. While I'm at it, because we're not doing too badly for money anymore, I'm going to build some more transport ships so we can take them across. Didn't even know we had a conquest casus belli against them. Ooh, assimilation. Always good. Unfortunately, the boats are too late and we have lost the siege. Build a great palace. I am fully up for that. In fact, wasn't I going to make another manufactory? Or had I decided I'd done enough for now? Got pretty good coverage, to be fair. What's going on in Senku? Does he just not have any building slots or something? Oh, it's a gold mine. Oh, darn right. I remember getting the message about this. Right, interesting. Okay, so gold mines. This is going to be the longest episode ever. Right, Rio Negro. Still trying to cut Portugal off. Right, so this is down to that development thing again. I don't think you can do a lot of normal buildings on a gold mine, or a province of a gold mine. But what you can do is if you develop it, I think especially with the diplomatic power, it increases the production. So at the moment it's below 1. So gold mines basically give you a hell of a lot of money, but they also give you inflation, but it's definitely worth it. So let's just put diplomatic points in. So we've now got a base production of 3. We can't put any more in because it's greater than base tax and manpower combined. So I'm going to give them some manpower and give them some tax. So I think the general wisdom is that you should try and get them to 10. Is It's a reasonable compromise between them producing a ton of money and them having a chance of depleting each year. So we've now got a 0.49% of them depleting every year, but we've got a base production of 10, which should in theory give us a ton of extra cash. Not bad, at least. Okay. Right. I don't know if we've got time to get them there so they can fight defensively. But if there is time, then it will be worth it. Come on, little boat. You can do it. There we go. I think we should be able to win. Even without bringing the best of the troops over. Wave of immigration. That's always a good thing. Of course it's possible. Oh, we've changed the culture. Drat. Okay, that's kind of backfired on us slightly. Well, in that case, I guess we may as well pick up the rest of the troops. And I'll just move these guys here. So I imagine they'll be attacked as soon as they free up the province. Mind these. So actually, we don't need to take the whole armada over there. Need to work out which side of the port's on. Is that the port? It says natural harbour, so I think so. So if we come down here, and as soon as this gets free, we will land. Which should bolster the troops a little. Give us an additional chance of winning. And we have yet another finished colony. There we go, Spanish Canada. We've got our name on all the wasteland now. Is good. Not if we've reached 10 provinces yet, although we've definitely reached them somewhere because we've got a new merchant. So yeah, the separatists apparently don't want Syracuse because we changed the culture to, I'm guessing, Castilian. Yeah. Fair enough. So that is one way to cut down on uprisings. Okay, so I'm guessing we got the merchant from Spanish La Plata. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so when we completed that province, we got a merchant. Royal marriage from Knights. Yes, I was going to actually do that. It had slipped my mind because of everything else that was going on. Oh yeah, we don't need a royal marriage, do we? We do need to improve relations though. So how are we doing with the Knights now? We can annex them. Excellent. Let's do that. Because they're currently taking up a diplomatic relation. So one of the reasons we're losing 2 diplomatic points every month. And realistically they're not a very good vassal because they're only one island. Single province. So they're not really worth keeping. Okay, manufactories. So unfortunately we didn't start the manufactories or we would have got a big boost to our monarch points, but on the plus side, and I'd better make a new general fast. I wonder what's happened to our military tradition. I don't seem to be getting with 2-star generals anymore. On the plus side, if you actually look at the institutions, they're starting off in a whole bunch of places. I'm not entirely sure why so many other countries have them all over the place, unless they've just literally built manufactories everywhere. But I feel like at least we've got them in a reasonable number of locations. Everywhere we'd already built one. I feel like we should maybe build another one in Spain. Maybe Sevilla could use one. They'll still in theory be worth building up until the point when we embrace the institution. But at the same time, we could also do with saving the money up to embrace the institution, so I might just leave it there. Okay. Right, so the merchant. We just want to place the last merchant. Probably just go with what they recommend again, because we're not particularly short of money. So they're saying Champagne. Okay, well that's interesting. Can't say I'm that keen on Champagne, but I guess we could forward it to the English Channel, which we probably have more control over than Champagne. So, okay, I will send a merchant to transfer trade power out of Champagne. So assuming we're about to get a bit more money, just look at our advisors again. Current money is plus 15. Could we change one of these? Guess a discipline is a good advisor to have. But he's 19 every month. So it might be a little bit too much for us. How about this guy? He's 8 every month. So that'll give us more military power. We'll have to keep an eye on that because we're not gaining money very fast. But at least we're gaining monarch points a bit faster now. Okay, that's really not good. That's like losing money. Suddenly thinking that wasn't such a good idea. Okay, let's give them the general. Thank you, Brunswick, for not keeping your separatists under control. Going to have my own Frisian separatists soon enough. Oh, great. Maybe I just shouldn't worry about it. Okay, we have won the siege. Hooray! So here's a crazy thought, maybe I should take this army to South America, since it's probably big enough now. So where exactly would we want to land them? Well, we'd probably want to attack Charca first, wouldn't we? So assuming we can get there without any problems, hopefully that will do it. So yeah, hopefully next time we can start gearing up for an attack on Charca and everywhere else, because in theory we want to take all of this land before Portugal takes it. It's going to be so much more of an issue to take it from Portugal. But yeah, really need to stop there. I think that's been my longest episode ever. But good progress. Slow but steady. We've now got another presence on the west side of North America, so yeah, never seems fast enough colonising. But at the same time, Spain is still looking pretty strong, especially with Naples and Poland thrown into the mix. So it's just basically deciding at what point we start attacking the big guys. France would be favourite, but we'll see. It'll probably depend on whoever's weakest, because obviously once we take one of them and all their colonies, that makes us even stronger. So hopefully get to the point where we can challenge anybody. Just eyeing up the Ottomans there. Okay, right, so I'm definitely going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry that went so over. Just always seemed to be another thing to do. And I might even look up if there's a good way to get rid of excommunication before next week. I shall see you then. Not next week, next episode. See you then.